Hey guys, I just biked here. It's a park in Rotterdam that's close to my home-ish. Pardon my sniffles because I just had wind blasting in my face for a considerable amount of time. I wanted to come and film a little video out in the world, and I thought this would be a good spot. I found a nice secluded area where I can talk to myself and maybe pretend I'm on the phone or not, because today I wanted to talk about embarrassment. Yeah, I think that'll be... 1 second, is this recording? Yes. Yeah, because I told myself that this would be a year where I have courage. Yeah, and I have faith in myself, and I believe in the things that I'm doing. I've always been someone who gets easily embarrassed, and I think that goes back definitely to when I was a child. It's just always been. I think it's funny, because I'd also consider myself an open-minded person. I kind of wonder if some of the embarrassment comes from inherently not really having any strong opinions. And so when someone, initiates my embarrassment by maybe saying, "What are you even doing? Wait, what are you doing?" Or even kindly just asking what I'm doing and what's it about. My first instinct is to get so embarrassed. En ik weet het niet waarom. It's probably not how you say that. But I don't know why. When I try to think about it, I think, well, maybe I should get a therapist for that, to really discover that about myself. But anyways, some of us feel embarrassment more readily than others, and I've always envied those who can just be themselves, and when someone asks, "What are you doing?" they just go, "Well, I'm doing this thing." And so that's part of why I wanted to come outside today. It's because there's always the chance that someone might discover me and say, "What are you doing?" And, in the past, I'd be like, "Oh," or even before they have the chance to ask that question, I would have cleaned up whatever I had going on so that I wasn't, I don't know. But today, if someone finds me, then I'll just say, "Yeah, I'm making a video. Yeah, I'm talking to the people." Okay. And if they ask, "Waarom?" Why? So maybe I'll just look at them. Because the thing is, to combat embarrassment, it's not you need an opinion. You don't need a reason in order to not be embarrassed about something that you're doing. You just don't need to be embarrassed at all. You can actually just decide to do anything that you want. And the thing is, it's not hurting anyone. And yeah, because there's times when there's definitely times when you should be embarrassed. If you do something that's actually definitely embarrassing, and when I think about it, when I'm really strict on things that are embarrassing, I don't actually know what is embarrassing, and it turns into more what is shame. And I think a lot of the time we accidentally feel shame because we're used to feeling embarrassed, but we don't have an actual reason to be ashamed. And when you really break it down, I feel a lot of the time in life when we feel ashamed, if you really sit and look at it and think about it, I feel I know people who would get ashamed at asking in a restaurant and hailing a waiter. I think so, even when I have a question for a waitress or something, hail them, "Oh, sorry, It's like, why are you saying sorry? Why are you, like, ashamed to ask someone to do something that is actually their job? I don't know, like, they expect it. I don't know why you're apologizing. I guess it's polite. I don't know. Is that polite? I don't know. Anyways, I'm getting off track. I wrote down some stuff, because this is important stuff. I want to make sure that I'm, getting these big points across here today. I love making videos in the park. It's easy. It's easy to do. I like it a lot. We'll come here more often. We'll come here again. Anyway, I wrote down in my notes, the first thing I wrote was, what if I can't defend myself? And I think that, circles back to the whole, like, why does everything feel inherently embarrassing to try to do? If there's an idea that I have. One thing that I'm really embarrassed about right now is an idea that I have where, I'm hoping that for this video, I can go up to 4 strangers and ask them a question and record their answer. And I was going to come out here with, like, a note paper and, like, give them, like, my information so that they can be like, if they ask, who are you? Then I can say, look me up. Google me, baby. But I don't have that, and so I guess I'm just gonna, go for it. And when you directly go up to someone, like, they will definitely be like, what is this for? And then for some reason I get, like, so scared. But you just need to have something to say, and if they don't believe in it, then they can walk away. And that's okay, because you asked. And that's all you can do. And I'm gonna get to that later. But yeah, it's like a fear of freedom. It's like, what happens if I just do whatever I want? And the thing is, I think that if you just did what you wanted to do, I think you would get a lot less backlash than you think. Unless you want to do bad things, of course. Anyway, what I kind of wanted to start with, but what I'm at right now with this little thing, is an inkling that doing something that might embarrass you is a sign that there is a potential to set a part of yourself free. Yeah, it's a sign that there's a part of yourself that is still trapped and hidden away, and you feel scared to set it free because it's safe in here, but it would really thrive out there. But if you did put it out there, then it would be open to criticism, naturally. But that's life. I think contrast makes life really exciting, and so much of the time it's just easier to stay sitting around. That's what I'm doing majority of the time, sitting around. I've found a way to do it right now as well. I think, when you have that inkling of embarrassment, it's also good to know when it's time to let go of that embarrassment and just turn it into a neutrality. Because I don't want with the questions that I want to ask people today, I'm not going to go up with a confidence that it's like, you're going to answer my question. It's not an offer that they can't refuse. They can certainly refuse it. And that's the thing, the fear of rejection. People are allowed to reject you, and that's cool, man. They've got freedom. You've got freedom, I hope. So when you just have a neutrality, a non-dualism about approaching the things that embarrass you, then I think you'll be pretty safe. Sometimes finding a purpose for something helps to get embarrassment out of the way. If you have a really good description for what you're doing, if you know how to articulate what you're doing and stuff, I think sometimes that comes naturally when you approach stuff with neutrality. But a lot of the time, when I have an idea, I try to find like a really good purpose and reason, and like a mission statement. But sometimes it doesn't come, especially until after you've done the thing. Sometimes the mission statement comes after. So when you're in the process of making it and people are asking you, "Warum? Why?" Maybe sometimes the answer is just, I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Maybe definitely sometimes embarrassment for me comes from a shame of curiosity. Yeah, and why be embarrassed about that? That's not bad. Yeah, what else helps me with embarrassment? Sometimes you're embarrassed about an idea, so you keep putting it off, and you just don't do it because it's like takes this special kind of energy to go out and do it. Like, I had to get ready to dig, come out and like find a spot to sit and talk to a camera. And, that's out of my way, but it's good. I like it, and I'm gonna feel really good at the end of the day that I did this, and actually I feel good already. So yeah, but it's just like diving into the cold pool, but once you're in, and once you're skinny dipping under the moonlight, you're chilling, So what helped me for this today, as well as like yesterday, I was like, tomorrow I'm gonna come and do this, even if you schedule it the day before. I find it when I wake up and I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I do have a list of things that I need to do. If I haven't decided like, oh, I'm gonna get this done, or like I'm gonna go at this time and do this at this time, then the day will just pass me by, and it's another day where I didn't do what I wanted to do, what I really wanted to do. And sometimes that's fine. Definitely days of rest, totally cool. But then, sometimes you get stuck in that like rest routine, and you wake up another day and you're like, is it not the same day as it was last month? Does that make sense? It all blurs together, and you're like, I haven't done anything embarrassing to break up the time. I think one thing that doing embarrassing things is good for it is, putting bookmarks in your life. You're gonna remember when you felt embarrassed, and as someone who's got Alzheimer's in their DNA, I'm like, I should probably do memorable things. That's the good thing, getting out of your comfort zone. You do memorable stuff, and that's nice. And the thing is with that as well, a lot of the time you'll probably have to do it alone. Like, I'm doing this alone. I'll probably go and ask people stuff alone. If I do that, still no promises, man. Okay, baby steps. Baby steps. Damn. But that's a plus. That's a bonus about doing embarrassing stuff, and you will probably have to do it alone. So don't wait for someone to do it with you. Just don't. You don't have to. Sometimes you do, depending on the project. But then, be the initiator. Do it. Plan it and tell people, hey, I need you here at this time, please. Please come to this place at this time. I need you. And hopefully they will. But you have to be pushing the ball. Even after it's rolling, you gotta keep pushing it sometimes. And lucky you, I've always, especially lately, I've been really craving like a creative partner. Like, I look at Enya and Drew, if you know, you know. And they've just got that friendship that's like so chill. And you're like, damn, I just wish I had that person that I could bounce shit off of. And of course there's people in my life, but they live together. It's like, if I lived with someone who I really jived with and stuff like that, none of my direct neighbors are people that I absolutely can be myself with, so it's like, that kind of stuff sucks, man. But in those cases, you just gotta get out and do it yourself, or get out and make it easier for your friends to be involved. Yeah. But you gotta do it at some point, and so you should plan it, you should schedule it, and then at some point it'll be happening and you'll say, I didn't even realize I was actually doing it right now. And that's the best when it happens like that. Forget what others might think. They don't think much of you anyways. Yeah, sometimes at night, I'll be sitting up late at night and thinking, damn, like, nobody really cares about me. Like, my phone is dry. Granted, I'm across, my time zone's completely different from, like, the most loved people in my life. And, the people here, I haven't, it's kind of hard to establish yourself as a core, as a main supporting character in someone's life when you actually just got to this country, I would love to have more texts coming into my phone from people that I admire, and they do enough. I'm grateful for what I have. But again, you always want more. And but anyways, point is, people do care, but also people really don't give a fuck. So just go and do what you want, because if you're worried of doing something that's embarrassing because, well, people are going to talk about me. Yeah, for once. Yeah, for once they actually might. Sorry. Yeah. There's the whole, like, attention seeking thing. It's like, duh. I'm a person. Yeah, duh. Anyway, attention's fun. So what do you want? Just do it. Nobody cares, and if you do something, then they actually might. And if you do something, it'll say something about who you are, and people might, I think, I feel like in life I've kind of often been someone who hasn't been, like, the absolute best friend of someone. And I think a lot of the time when I reflect on it, maybe it's because I'm someone who sometimes doesn't have big opinions or doesn't do big gestures, so I don't end up standing out or being the unique person that someone wants to be best friends with. Then again, some people just want a chill person who doesn't, just someone to chill with. So that's something I still don't know, but if you hide parts of yourself, you're never going to find the people that you need. So don't. And sincerely, no one cares if you embarrass yourself as long as you don't harass them while you're at it. But yeah, I think when it comes to not holding back on your embarrassing ideas, I think disclaimer, don't be annoying and terrible. That's all. And again, with, like, what are people gonna think? Don't expect any approval, and don't assume disapproval either. I think when you assume disapproval, you're thinking the least of the people in your life. Like, if you're embarrassed, what did I write? I wrote something about it. I thought I wrote something about it. But embarrassment is also based in the doubts you have about the people around you. You don't think that they're accepting enough to accept this, like, really probably quite mundane thing. Or not. Maybe it's a bigger thing. But, like, thinking that someone is maybe trying to make you feel ashamed, that's, it's, like, passively rude to them, Like, think the best of your friends. Like, assume that they will accept you. Because they probably are longing to do that. I hope. And if they're not, then try to find some new friends. Yeah. I was talking to my friend Stein the other day, a while ago now, but we had a similar conversation about this kind of stuff, I guess, and also about following your dreams. And we were talking about how yeah, life is short, and you've only really got one shot. You've only really got 365 days of being 25 or whatever age you are to try this thing that you want to try. So you might as well do it. And I think sometimes there's a pressure found in that of like, oh my God, life is short. Oh my God. That can be like, you feel like the pressure's on or something. But it's not. The pressure's not on. You just got to do what your heart wants. I think what I find inspiring in the fact that life is short and you only have 365 days to be 25 is that you just are reminded of your mortality, and there's a freedom in that of like, oh, I don't have to be embarrassed. I'm going to die anyways. And so are all these people. It's one of those like weirdly morbid but comforting thoughts where it's like, it's all temporary anyways. No matter what I do, it's not really gonna matter, whatever that means, So just do it because like you can, and you have this energy and this inspiration to do it. So you might as well, because it's not permanent. So just go for it. That makes sense? I get a really light feeling in my soul when I think about that. And at the same time, life is like terribly long and full of terrors, So, with the deadline thing, that can be helpful, but sometimes it can make things even more daunting. So, like, have the deadlines. If they don't work for you, whatever. Maybe if like hard deadlines don't work for you, then try focusing on baby steps, I like baby steps because at some point you have finished it and you don't even realize, So just try to do one little thing. If not every day, then like every week. And if not every week, then every month. Everyone's got their pace. Life is long, at the same time short. It's paradoxical. But don't sweat. Because worrying isn't going to get you anywhere. It's only going to keep you stuck in the mud. Life, another word for mud. So, but yeah, I think it will be good, even if you're not the best with schedules. I really think they can help anyone. And a to-do list, if anything, just regarding time, just a to-do list, and having a pace with how you knock things off it feels good too. You can feel proud of yourself. Yeah. Even though you could feel proud of yourself at any moment. Unless you did something bad. What else do I have? Yeah, and sometimes your dreams are impossible, or at least temporarily impossible. Sometimes we can't do it now. Sometimes, so I don't have the embarrassment, but I still can't go and do the thing. Again, baby steps. Just keep trying. Like, why not keep trying? Like, see what happens. Like, never say never. Be reasonable with yourself and your heart, and you can only do what you can. You can only do what you can. So do what you can. And don't have any, and be unabashed about it. But yeah, I guess I want to close off with, there's a TikTok I saw once, and the guy said, "You're not in trouble." Maybe you've seen it. But, remember that you're not in trouble, and look at the freedom that you do have, as much as you might, or as little as you might. I don't know where you're at, but I've got more freedom than I give myself credit for, so try to really admire the freedom that you do have, and take it without shame. Because it's there for you to take. Like, the freedom that you have is there for you to take. And you can do it without feeling ashamed or embarrassed. Yeah. I think that's all I have to say about embarrassment. Okay, see you next week, yeah? See you next week, yeah? So don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment. What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done? Okay? Okay. See you around. Wow. I could eat those, but I won't. I don't don't trust myself with mushrooms. I got a freaking lamp. Yeah. The lighting is so much nicer. Yay. Whoa. Boy. Up the top of your head if you're down.
Oh my god. Just me?
Just me.
Embarrassed.
Hmm.
Schamen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I asked a friend what embarrassment is in Dutch once.
I think it's schaamte, but schaamte is also shame.
Yeah, which is different.
Embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
Embarrassed feels a bit lighter.
Yeah, because shame is like, I did something wrong, so I should feel. Whereas like an embarrassment is like, I didn't do anything. I just feel funny. Yeah. Like sometimes I just feel embarrassed waking up in the morning. Like, oh, how embarrassing to be awake right now.
That's one thing I don't feel embarrassed about, so that's nice actually.
Yeah, so most mornings it's not like that, but occasionally you wake up and automatically.
I know one.
Okay.
I feel embarrassed sometimes fitting clothes when I'm shopping. Because I feel like it's very vulnerable because like when I have to do it outside of a fitting room or something, it's like a small store and people can see you like.
Yeah.
I think that's very embarrassing.
I can do that if I have headphones on, and then like you know, in your own world.
But then your sweater over your But
yeah, that's awkward.
Yeah.
Or like that as well, but sometimes I'll be at Zara. I try to avoid Zara for a lot of reasons. This is like, one is that their fitting rooms usually have like downward lighting, so like everything is very not flattering. And
I think that's on purpose.
Yeah, it's weird.
A technique to make you feel shitty.
But then their clothes are so ill-fitting at the same time, and it's all just like, why did I decide to be here?
Yeah, no, I also don't.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a very valid feeling. It's the subtle things.
Suddenly I'm thinking of like one that goes back years. But this embarrassment as a kid when you take the hand of someone you think is your mom or your dad, and it's a stranger. And like I still remember that now, like the moment where that happened, which is strange that is so like almost traumatic for a child. Well, it is just it feels like shame in that moment.
Yeah,
but it is just a little
but it's not. It's an
embarrassing.
honest mistake. Yeah.
But like thinking what's more contemporary embarrassment.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's just so woven into everyday life. Just
same.
I don't know. Just talking. I often say things without meaning to, or I don't know.
Yeah. The thought comes out before it's fully formed.
Yeah.
And then people perceive it and think that you just said what you mean, but you're like, I just said whatever came out just now, actually.
Starting also a story and just not know, then you don't know where it goes, and then you just judge it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, when people ask me what I do,
yeah.
Yes. I hate it so much, and I'm like, I still don't have the answer.
Is there anything you do to stop feeling embarrassed, to get rid of it?
I usually just say like, do you mean the specific embarrassment or in general?
Just in general, or something, whatever comes to mind.
I mean, if it's with people, it's just naming it or talking about it. That helps.
Yeah.
Joking.
Yeah.
And if it's not with people, it's more like just playing this role of someone that doesn't care about anything.
Yeah.
I'm that person right now. What was the trend that Colin was talking about again? It's now hip again, like frizzled British woman. like Bridget Jones.
Oh.
Is it frizzled? Frazzled?
What?
You know, it's like when you bump into the coffee goes onto you.
Meet cutes left and right.
The fan drives by.
Yeah, pretend. So you just pretend you're in some kind of rom-com.
Yeah. And noughties, 90s noughties rom-com.
Yeah. And that's when embarrassment is still there, or when it's not there. Oh, wait.
Maybe that's
embracing.
a way of dealing with it.
Feeling cinematic about the awkward things that happen.
It is not something that I do, but I'm thinking now that maybe
it could work.
Do that.
It has potential.
It's a trend now.
Have you already looked into the etymology of embarrassment? Because I realize now that it looks a lot like embracing, like embarrassing and embracing. It's very close.
I don't know.
It doesn't feel close, but maybe there's something there.
I want to look it up now. Yeah.
Embracing, you're interested.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Embracing embarrassment.
Gênant.
Oh, gênant.
When something is embarrassing.
Oh.
Or also when it feels embarrassing.
Gêne, gêne.
Etymology.
Echt gênant.
Embarrassing. Halter.
Animals being restrained by a cord or leash. Yeah, because it's like to hold.
Right.
To block, obstruct. Maybe it blocks you from just flowing instead of you just going along with your life. You're like,
yeah. It's definitely a lock. It's definitely a chokehold.
Perplexed to throw into doubt. Imbarazzo.